You ever wake up, groggy-eyed, step onto your porch in your slippers, and see total strangers building a damn fence right across your own driveway? Because that's what happened to me. And it wasn't just any strangers, it was people from the local homeowners association trying to wall me out of land I legally owned. I bought that property with one goal: get away from all their HOA nonsense, their rules, their fees, their miserable little power games, and yet here they were hammering posts like they owned the place, telling me I had 48 hours to pay up or they'd make my life hell. No warning, no conversation, just threats, fake citations, midnight phone calls meant to rattle my bones. They wanted war? Well, they got one, just not the kind they were ready for. Looking back, yeah, maybe I should have seen the warning signs. The 2 weeks before that fence showdown, I was convinced I'd found paradise. After 25 years wrangling politics and bureaucracy as a high school principal, this old lake farm was everything I'd pictured for retirement. An honest-to-God weathered farmhouse, 50 yards from glassy water, oaks spreading wide and deep, the kind of place where the air is so quiet you can hear fish jump at dusk and loons calling out across the lake. Best part? No HOA. No meetings, no monthly bills, no one telling me what color to paint my shutters, what flowers to plant, what's acceptable in the neighborhood. I had checked twice, 3 times. This land was 100% outside any association's reach. The deed was airtight, filed right in my office drawer, the property line going straight to the county road. No ambiguity. County records confirmed it. So, yeah, I finally settled into the life I've been dreaming about. Mornings with coffee, watching the sunrise flicker across the lake. Writing on my screen porch, the breeze coming in, the light just right for my memoir project. Walks across my own 32 acres. Fires by the water at dusk. It was perfect until it wasn't. Paradise, I learned, draws predators. The first sign came on a Tuesday that started like any other. I was typing out stories from my rookie year as assistant principal. Suddenly, something caught my eye. A dark sedan creeping by the driveway, maybe 10 miles an hour on a 45-mile road. Once, maybe lost. Twice. Weird. Third time, within the same hour? That's surveillance, plain and simple. The windows were blacked out. You couldn't see a thing inside, but whoever was in there, they were casing my property, memorizing sight lines, counting possible ways in. I'd spent enough time in administration to know when I was being watched. The next morning, things got even stranger. While grabbing the mail, I spotted footprints, big ones size 11 or 12, waffle sole boots, pressed deep into the mud along my property line. Someone had walked the entire eastern fence, right on the edge, close enough to peer through the rails, but careful not to cross the line. That's not some kid lost in the woods. That's someone who knows property law, keeping just legal enough not to get caught. By that evening, I found a fresh wooden stake, 6 inches from my official survey marker, cut with obvious precision. Not vandalism. This was a chess move, a message. I'm coming for your land. Wednesday night, I dove deep into property law. Adverse possession. Easements. Everything pointed to one thing. Someone was about to try and steal my property rights through legal tricks. I barely slept. Thursday morning, the white pickup truck joined the dark sedan. Same slow rolling, same pattern, sometimes together, sometimes separate. This was coordinated, professional. Later that day, near the water, I found a government-style notice crumpled in the brambles. Most of the words had been washed away by rain, but violation was stamped clear as day, block letters. They were building a paper trail, trying to make me look like a lawbreaker. That evening, as the sun turned the lake gold, I heard the distinct click of a camera shutter from the trees across the road. Not a tourist, someone gathering evidence. Not a sound after, just the hum of crickets and tree frogs. By now, fear was giving way to anger. My peace was being systematically destroyed by whoever was orchestrating this mess. But if they thought I'd roll over, they had no idea who they were dealing with. I'd spent decades facing down bullies, parents, and politics. Never lost a fight to a coward. That night, I ordered every piece of surveillance tech I could find. Security cameras disguised as birdhouses. Motion-activated recorders. GPS trackers. tiny audio recorders that could run for days. If they wanted to build a file on me, I'd build a case on them. Hard evidence, the kind a judge can't ignore. I started a log. Times, license plates, weather, everything. I knew documentation is everything when you want to take on abusers of power. Friday, the showdown arrived. I was reviewing my gear orders when a silver luxury sedan rolled into the driveway. Slow, confident, like they own the place. Out steps a woman. Perfect gray hair, expensive blazer, a smile that never reaches her eyes. Leather portfolio in hand, she walks up like she's holding court. "Mr. Morrison, I presume," she says, all condescension and power, the kind of voice that's ruined 100 staff meetings. "I'm Victoria Brennan, president of the Lakeside Residential Association. We need to discuss your property obligations." Obligations? I kept my voice calm. "I bought this property outside any HOA, according to county records." She laughs, a brittle glass-breaking sound, and hand me a thick, official-looking document. "Oh, you've been misinformed. The county granted our association expanded oversight. You now owe $7,400. Membership dues, penalties, fees. Pay up or else." But the paperwork was all wrong. Photocopied seals, too many digits in the phone number, a P.O. box for an address. I asked her, when did this so-called expanded jurisdiction happen? She tried to bluff, but her eyes flickered. Then out of the woods come two men in dark uniforms, badges, patches, utility belts, looking for all the world like real cops, except they weren't. The uniforms were too clean, the badges too shiny. Victoria introduced them as her enforcement officers. They rattled off a list of violations: landscaping, unauthorized modifications, and commercial activity, as if writing a memoir counts as a business. I asked for their identification and the specific ordinances they claimed I'd broken. All they could do was threaten criminal charges if I didn't cooperate. I started recording on my phone, and you could see the panic in their eyes. They pushed another stack of fake paperwork at me, full of spelling errors and formatting so bad a judge would laugh them out of the courtroom. "We have resources you can't imagine," Victoria hissed. "Fighting us will only make things worse." I let her finish, then leaned over the porch railing and told her, "You're going to take your fake documents and your costume friends, and you're going to leave my property." Now, you could see her facade crack. Her goons moved closer, tried to look tough, but real authority doesn't need to play dress-up. They left, threats flying, promising to return in 48 hours. That should have been the end, right? But no, that night, the two officers came back, more aggressive this time, shining flashlights through my windows, pounding on my door at 9:30 p.m. I met them on the porch, phone in hand, recording every word. They claimed new violations, all nonsense. I called them out, line by line, poking holes in their paperwork until their bravado evaporated. "You've got 24 hours to comply or face property seizure and criminal charges," they barked, desperate now. But I could see the fear. Nobody had ever challenged them this way. Saturday night, just like they promised, they returned with trucks, tools, and, here's the kicker, a whole pile of chain-link fence, posts, warning signs, and a heavy-duty padlock. They started building a barrier across my driveway, on my property, not an easement, not a right-of-way. I filmed everything, demanded permits, court orders, surveyor's reports. Of course, they had nothing. Community safety overrides individual rights. They said, making up rules as they went, convinced I'd cave rather than fight. They even installed their own surveillance camera on the new fence, warning signs like they own the place. When they finally finished, locked me in and drove off, I took a deep breath, walked back inside, grabbed the bolt cutters I picked up in town, and went to work. I cut that fence to shreds, dragged the posts out with my truck, filmed the whole thing, and by dawn my driveway was clear. Then I uploaded every minute, video, audio, GPS coordinates, to the cloud, ready for court or the sheriff or whoever needed to see it. By Monday morning, the county sheriff and a state investigator rolled up, official as you please. I showed them everything: videos, photos, fake citations, the fence debris, even GPS logs. Right then, Victoria and her goons pulled up, trying to act tough. But law enforcement was already wise. They checked the paperwork. Counterfeit, of course. There is no Lakeside Residential Association registered with the county or the state, the detective said flatly. Victoria tried to talk her way out, but her hands were shaking, her goons suddenly fascinated by their own shoes. Then, right in front of everyone, she blurted out the truth. We only wanted to protect the community from owners who don't understand their responsibilities. Some people require stronger encouragement. And with that, she handed herself a racketeering charge and an extra decade in federal prison. Handcuffs came out, the whole crew arrested, vehicles searched. In less than a week, her empire collapsed. But it wasn't just me. Turns out, she'd created 5 fake HOAs, run this scam on property owners across 3 counties, targeting the elderly and isolated, extorting hundreds of thousands. Her enforcers were part of a wider network, caught at a truck stop trying to buy fake passports. And even in jail, Victoria tried to intimidate witnesses. Those calls were recorded too, sealing her fate. 6 months later, I stood in a federal courthouse as Victoria Brennan was sentenced to 18 years. No parole, full restitution, and barred from ever running a property business again. Her enforcers got 10 and 12 years. The victims, old couples, folks who'd sold their homes out of fear, retirees like me, packed the courtroom, cheering as justice landed like a hammer. Now, my lake is quiet again. The only fences are the ones I built myself. The sun sets over water that's truly mine. I mounted a little bronze plaque by the dock. Private property, lawfully owned and defended. The real one isn't just peace of mind. It's knowing that when bullies and scammers come knocking, you fight back, you document everything, you use the real legal channels. Sometimes, that's all it takes to turn the tables on predators who think they're untouchable. So, tell me, where do you draw the line between standing up for yourself and letting things slide for peace? Have you ever been bullied by fake authority? Drop your story or your opinion below, because trust me, this kind of fight is more common than you think. And if you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe and share your take on what real justice looks like.